When you want only the best for your pet, check out AbbybellPetDesigns.com. We offer quality products such as floppy beds, crate pads, round pet beds, pillow slip covers, belly bands, and more. All products come in a variety of colors and sizes, guaranteed to satisfy your pet's particular style. Your pet deserves to be pampered, so shop at AbbybellPetDesigns.com. If you don't see the item you want listed in our shop, just drop us a line and we'll be glad to make the product of your pet's dreams. AbbybellPetDesigns.com. Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. It is Monday. Hey, Chessie, good morning. How are you? It's a slow morning. Hey, Marianne, how are you? Carmen, good morning, good morning. Joey, Junior, Jerry, how's everybody? Good morning. Thank you for being here. Please invite your followers if you will. Wayne, good to see you. Let me quickly read to you just a couple of verses. Beautiful day in Vegas. Great. Hey, Laura. Hey, Danelle. I'm doing great, Joey. Thanks for asking. How are you? Blessed, let's see. Which one was I wanting to do? Oh, here we go. Blessed be the Lord. This is Psalm 144. I'm just going to read part of it. 11 a.m. Eastern already. I know. Lost an hour stuck on the expressway. Oh, wow. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle, my loving kindness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield and the one in whom I take refuge, who subdues my people under me. Lord, what is man that you have knowledge of him, or the son of man that you are mindful of him? Man is like a breath. His days are like a passing shadow. Absolutely. Good morning, Lori. Hello, hello. Okay. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hopefully that more people will get notifications, or if you guys can invite your followers. Okay, there's a couple things I want to talk to you about. Some breaking news stuff that you aren't going to hear, so I wanted to bring that to you. Especially tomorrow is, I think, the primaries in Arizona. So that should be pretty interesting. I hope everybody knows in Arizona who they're going to vote for. Wonderful weekend. Great, Joey. Hey, Harley. And so, I've heard a lot of negative things. Oh, in Florida, too. Heard a lot of negative things about McSally. That she is very much an establishment rhino, which is not good. I heard that the story going around about Kelly Ward taking money from the Obama stimulus to keep her business going. I heard that was a lie from somebody who claims, good morning, Robin, from somebody who claims that they know her personally. So I find that very odd. Hey, Barbara. So I would do anybody who's kind of undecided. Hey, Kim. I would go ahead and I would try to, do a little bit more research. But those are the things I'm hearing, and I wanted to pass that along to you. Some other things that this is just a kind of a point of interest. It really has nothing to do with, any conspiracy theories or anything like that. But I wanted to tell you about this. I was doing some research over the weekend. And I was looking up Molly Tibbetts, looking up about her father, Rob Tibbetts. And I found a couple of interesting things. Number one, he is the VP of Marketing Principal at an organization called, I don't know if it's Hawk or Hoke. It's probably pronounced Hoke. I'm not sure. H-O-K. Anyway, they're kind of like an international architectural engineering type firm that goes out and helps the community and all over the world. So they're kind of an international company. Huge company. He's also, I believe, he may be on the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, where he's a very high up individual. And I wondered why he was in San Francisco. Hey, Danielle. and how Molly she had two brothers got to Iowa. And basically, Tibbetts and his wife got divorced in 2007. And she wanted to move back to Iowa, where she felt it was safer to be there, raise her kids in Iowa. Hey, Noelle. And that's why she took off and went there. Hey, Vast. How are you? And she also was involved in real estate in California. And she was saying at that time it was kind of drying up. So she wanted to go someplace else and start a business there. So she went to Iowa. From what I understand, Molly was a very much an anti-Trump individual. I'm assuming her father probably is too. Thought they were divorced but seemed fine together. Yeah, they are divorced. He's remarried, as a matter of fact, Barbara. And so what's interesting, and I saw this kind of going around on the internet once I started researching, and I kind of wanted to put this to rest a little bit. I know it's sad to go there to be safe, and then this. I mean, how ironic is all of that. And also, how ironic in the fact that, again, Molly was kind of an anti-Trumper, and probably the father is too. Hey, Teresa. And yet, she was killed, allegedly, by a man who was here illegally in the country, which is the very thing that Trump wants to try and prevent. And it's probably why also that you won't hear her father come out and be for the wall and be for better immigration policies, because I like I said, I think he's probably on the left as well. In addition, their company, his company, where he's the VP of marketing and principal, they do, like I said, international work. Interesting fact is that their company did work on building a new orphanage and childhood center in Haiti called Project Haiti. And as you may recall, that was a Clinton Foundation. Hey, Amanda. That was a Clinton Foundation project in Haiti that this company worked on. I'm always saying that the Clintons, there's like 2 degrees of separation with the Clintons. Everybody knows the Clintons. Hey, Cully. And so here is one more connection to the Clintons. Well, she was a kid still and did not know what she knew. Yeah, she didn't know. And also, again, her parents, I think, are on the left. And so she was probably following her parents' lead as well on that. But on the internet, they were trying to make something of it, of saying, well, he went, Tibbetts went there and he worked on this project. I could find no evidence that he went and he was the engineer on the project. I don't think that's likely, seeing as how he was in marketing. And I could find no pictures of him together with the Clintons. But his company did go there and help build that. Do we all really think the Clintons are ever going to be held accountable? Don't think so. I don't either, Harley. I don't either. I don't think anybody on the left is going to be held accountable at all. It's not looking good. So, you know, and it may be there's only going to be one day when they're going to be held accountable, and that's Judgment Day. However, what did she know? The connection, a warning conspiracy could go there. I don't know, Barbara. I have no idea, and I don't want to take it to that point. Found nothing that would suggest any type of conspiracy theory. I've lost faith in Sessions. Harley said, oh, I have too. Good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Nikolai. How are you? I'll go back. Make sure you listen to the replay, Dawn and Nikolai. There was some interesting point I just made on that, so I wanted you to hear that as well. Yeah, I think Sessions should just go. I really want to see him go. I supported him in the beginning, but I don't support him now. I don't think he's doing anything. I think that he's really old school, really, really old school. And I think that he pretty much doesn't know the workings of the FBI and the DOJ. Yeah, I know. Who's that? Well, Marianne, all you have to do is go to some high school graduation. You'll find out who Sessions is. I believe he is tied in with the deep state. I don't think so, Harley. I know people have said that. I personally don't think so. I think that he just, you know, he's working on the days of the DOJ a long time ago when things were kind of slow and everybody took their time and the DOJ and the FBI were held in esteem. high esteem. And I think that is the way he operates today, and it's just not the truth. Can't get rid of Sessions until Rosenstein is gone, Tom said. But Tom, hey Jamie, good to see you. Stocks are booming. Trump is getting on my better side. Jamie said, absolutely. Jamie, you'll want to listen to the replay. There was something interesting that I just talked about too. I think that Rod Rosenstein is already running the DOJ, to be quite honest with you. I don't know what difference it would make if Sessions were there or not, because he's not telling Rod Rosenstein what he can or can't do. Trump is starting to get boxed in. I agree with you, Harley. He really is. And he doesn't, as you remember, the rhinos didn't want him in the first place. So they're going to be on the side of the Democrats, helping the Democrat box him in. And if, it's why it's so important that if we don't win and have this red wave in 2018 and especially 2020, we're done for. American intelligence says Sessions is part of the deep state. Well, I don't know who American intelligence is, Danielle. I don't know if that's Q or somebody else, so I'm going to hold off on that. I'd like to see more about who this American intelligence is. I mean, people every day are, we have a lot of things going on right now where it's crucial that we use discernment and not believe everything that just comes out. So I want to know who this American intelligence is. If you're talking about, thank you, Harley, Navy SEALs or somebody else that in the know, then it might be more believable to me. But, people always, all the time, Betsy and Thomas. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there again, they're not my go-to sources, but, Anyway, I'll wait and see what happens. So, let's see. As I said, tomorrow's Arizona primaries. Hope you know who you want to vote for in Arizona. It's going to be, I don't know how many more days. Voting scares me. I just don't feel it's legitimate anymore. Well, Harley, there's a lot of voter fraud. There's absolutely a lot of voter fraud. It's happening already in the primaries, and we're going to see probably a hell of a lot more when it comes around to the general election. And it won't be coming from, Russia. It'll be coming from right here in our own backyard. So why do you think it is we don't hear Trump moving on his term limits promise so needed? Well, probably because he's got a lot of, it's like, you remember when they had those things, like in the circus or other places, where you have a stick, and you start spinning that stick, and you put a plate at the top, and then you go over here, and you start a new one, hey Lee, and you start spinning that, and you keep going on down the road, and spinning more and more, and as those plates spin, you got to come back to that first one, and start spinning it again. Who has he got to help him go through all these things? Does anyone think it's funny that POTUS has ordered flags at half-mast? The flags are not at half-mast anymore. They were on, let's see, I think Saturday and Sunday, but they're back full staff right now. They're not half-staff anymore. If that's what you're talking about. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay. Yeah, the thing of it is, I know a lot of people didn't like the fact of what Trump said. They wanted him to come out and talk about John McCain as a hero and all that. My thing of it is, I would rather him not be disingenuous. And if he had come out and said all of those things, he would have been ridiculed in the press for doing that. There's no win-win situation. I would rather him not be disingenuous, and I don't think he was. No, he doesn't have a lot of help. That's why we have to vote. Exactly. And that's why we also, Amanda, as you know as well, that we have to pray. Rest in peace, but the man did have baggage. Everybody does, Harley. Well, Marianne, the flags were lowered, and now they're back up. Flag rules, half-mast, day of death, and day after. Yep. That's right, Chesney. There's no, having a week-long flags at half-mast if you don't want them to be that way. But I just think, again, I don't want him to be disingenuous. He didn't like John McCain. A lot of people didn't. A lot of veterans didn't. My thing is, and I think other people feel the same way, I'm not going to talk bad. Jenny Cully said he didn't lower his flag. I'm not going to talk bad or ill of somebody who's died, but I didn't agree with him on much of the things that he did. I think he's handling fine right now, Harley said. All the rest of them are hypocrites. They're all talk bad about McCain. That's right, Tom. McCain died. I think it was a Saturday. It was Saturday, day before yesterday. The help POTUS is counting on is us. We must vote. Absolutely. I'm having a Mexican coffee due to NAFTA. Jamie said, yeah, there's a deal that's been struck between America and Mexico. President Trump is going to talk about it. Didn't say when. It was going to be in the Oval Office. I don't know if it's going to be at night, if it's going to be during the day. It didn't really say yet. Our president is not a hypocrite. That's right. Sat around 4. Don't know what time zone. Chessie said Saturday around 4. Yeah. That's just the thing. You know, like I said, I didn't agree with a lot of his policies. A lot of veterans didn't like him. I'm sorry for his passing. I hope he believed in God. And, you know, I wish his family well, and my sympathies to the family. Kane died exactly 9 years after Ted Kennedy. Yes, Joey, and with the exact same brain cancer. It's, I mean, unbelievable. We all do. Yep, let God sort it out. He knows McCain's heart better than we do. That's right, Tom. McCain stopped taking his meds last week and passed a week later, taking his evils to his grave, Jamie said. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who the governor appoints now in John McCain's position. Some women said she thought he was arranged announcement of death to do her campaign harm. I don't know who that was. That's kind of weird. Was that Kelly Ward or McSally? I don't know who we're talking about here. But I think that, you know, there is a possibility that the governor could put in Cindy McCain. I wrote an article about that, I don't know, a month or so ago, saying that that was a possibility. Well, that's really weird of her, Noelle. that was a kind of a weird thing. Hey, Carol. Morning, everybody. His wife is being appointed. It's very much a possibility, Tom. I heard McCain wants his wife to take his place. Yep. I wrote that article. It's at SusanKnowles.com. Wrote it about a month or so ago. Obama and Bush will speak at his services, Jamie said. Yep. I think George W. Bush is going to give the eulogy. His wife isn't qualified, is she? Well, that depends, Danielle. How many people did you know you have a clear colonoscopy? Yay. Good, Carol. How many people do you know? I lost my total train of thought when I saw what Carol had written. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what I was talking about. I know he took his grudge of Donald Trump to his grave. That's true, Don. Back to Cindy. A lot of people this past primaries wanted to be, thank you, Carol, wanted to be as U.S. Senate. And you know that some of those people who wanted to run maybe just have a high school education. So do I think that somebody with a high school education could carry on and be a senator, a U.S. senator? I don't think so. That's nothing to, you know, downgrade or diss on anybody who doesn't have a college degree. But I think you got to have a little bit beyond high school. Depends upon what the experience of that person would be. So whether Cindy has that kind of ability or not, if you go and you read my article, she is educated. She was a teacher. She ran her father's business, as I recall, and did really well with that business. I mean, so she's no dummy by any stretch of the imagination. Do I want to see her appointed? No. I think she will be John McCain on steroids if that should happen, and I think that would mean that there's no way that she wants, no way that she would want Obamacare repealed. I disagree. Sometimes too much education can work against the ordinary guy. Well, that's true, but I think you've got to have more than a high school education these days. It's closed casket. They should put a hole in it and have a handout, thumbs down, Tom said. Qualified or not, I don't like the family appointment thing. How could she be a teacher without a college education? She has a college education, Colleen. She's educated. I think she even has a master's in education. She's an educated woman. I'm just saying, basically, there were some people who were, over the summer, whatever, were trying to run for different seats in Arizona, for one, and other places, and they don't have even a college education. And I mean, I can't even imagine. Only David Hogg would think that he could do that, you know, effectively. Good morning, my lovely Sue and the girls. I told Jakey about Gracie while in Tobago. I'm back home. Yay. Just that good to have you back. I know college people without a lick of common sense. Oh, absolutely. Harley. That's why I say I'm not putting anybody down that has a high school education. There are plenty of people with a high school education that have been able to run businesses. Plus some scopes that were disrespectful and more. I know, Barbara. McCain was the only Republican with honor and morals. Don't know about the rest of you. Uh, Troy, how's Hillary, Troy? Good to see you. Tell Hillary we said hi. Anyway, so anyhow, there are people like, and you have to, whether hate him or love him, Glenn Beck only has a high school education. And Glenn Beck's done pretty well for himself in the past, at least, and he was able to be successful. So, don't ever assume that somebody without a high school or college education is a dummy, because that's just not true. I just don't think being in U.S. Senate is something that's going to, or, whatever, in Congress, you need more than a high school education. Does Hank Johnson have a degree? I don't know. Yeah, Troy had to leave. Yeah, Troy just, I don't know. He left suddenly. I don't have a college degree and I own my own business. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Carol. Yeah, see you, Troy. Bye, Troy. That's what I'm saying. There are plenty of people who are very successful. But, yeah, I'm not even sure that people with a college degree would be necessarily successful in Congress. Maybe a little bit more of an advantage. I personally do believe that having a law degree would help you there. So anyway. Intelligence doesn't come from formal education. That's right. Hey, Debbie. This weekend, let's see. Hogg was at the footsteps of Smith and Wesson demanding $5 million this weekend with his marches, Jamie said. Unbelievable. Yeah, because you got to know, Carol agrees with the law degree. You got to know the ins and outs. You got to know what people are doing. You got to know the legalities of things. And if you have a law degree, you have a good chance of understanding that. Without that, I mean, I can't even imagine about how you do it. Hogg thinks he's relevant. Exactly, Jerry. Okay, so some other news. The NASDAQ passes the 8,000 point threshold for the first time. I think that's the problem, lawyers running things. Well, Tom, but you gotta have the knowledge of what's going on. Did you need some background in politics, at least local and state? I think so too. I think people who shouldn't skip over and go right into U.S. Senate, you should do state and local first before you try to tackle something like that. Because, I mean, it would be difficult, I think, locally to even state and local laws to try to get your feet wet. I can't even imagine that. The ability to speak does not make you intelligent, Democratic. I know, Jamie, that's true. Absolutely. So, yeah, you're not, I mean, did you hear about that with the NASDAQ? You shouldn't be making laws if you don't know the law. That's right. See, Carol, in fact, I listened to somebody, a candidate for U.S. Senate who didn't have a college education, start talking stuff that was absolutely crazy because they didn't know the law and saying, well, we're just going to get rid of that and we'll just get rid of that. That's not how it works. And if you don't know, that's okay, Lee. If you don't know how things work, then you're going to go in there and make a lot of people upset when you fail to do what you say you're going to do. I don't know, I think that's part of the problem when they start out, the leeches gather and follow them. Well, but Harley, that's why you get rid of the leeches before they get out of state and local. Trump, not a lawyer, and skipped it. Yeah, but Trump has had lawyers surrounding him his entire life with his business deals and everything else. Democrats think a bartender is qualifier for office. That's true. That's true. And look at, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She has a degree, and that woman shouldn't go anywhere near Congress. I'm just saying. Senator McCain didn't want POTUS at his funeral. We're petty for almost 82-year-old, and some of Fox News obsessing with McCain fall out with POTUS. Yeah, that gives us something to do. Trump is smart enough to ask for help. That's it. And because he's been around so many attorneys and has done this for, the earth is flat, David. How's the, but you know what? The basement is round. So don't worry about it. So So basically, because he has so much experience under his belt, like 30 years, that man's got more knowledge than most attorneys walking into office. So, she's dumber than a pet rock. I know. Cortez, an example of what college produces, what liberal colleges produce. That's right, Jerry. I'm sure Trump would not want to go to McCain's funeral. Exactly. The earth is flat. My basement is hilly because of all the junk. There you go. That gives David some hope, Carol. So, Gracie is smarter than her. She is, Marianne. I'll have to say that. And that's not just because I love Gracie. She is smarter than Cortez. And you know what? Gracie doesn't have those, like, weird eyes looking at you either. I'm just saying. Okay. Let's see. This is, again, on the NASDAQ. With the NASDAQ, there is a announcement, new tentative agreement. Don't know anything about what it's about. We'll have to wait and see when his Oval Office speech is going to be, hopefully sometime today. Let me give you some other information. I bet Candace Owens runs at some point. I think Candace Owens and like Charlie Kirk, they would be good. I would still like to see them start out in a state legislature. From what I've seen, college graduates lately, they should get the money back. Yes, we all love Gracie, Lee said. Thank you, Harley, for the super hearts. I appreciate it. The eyes are nuts, Cully. They are. I mean, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to make fun of her, but her eyes disturb me. I mean, they're just, yeah, Candace is great. And Charlie Kirk, they're both very smart. Free college in New York. There you go. And you get what you pay for, Jerry. Okay, so now here's some other news. The first 2 of the 16 in the Congo to receive an experimental treatment for Ebola have recovered. So that's good news. Trump is playing golf during the services of McCain. Jamie said, she does look crazy and her mouth confirms it. Her eyes confirm it, man. I'm telling you. And her mouth. Yes, they are buggy eyes. They're not, I mean, they're just, it's not so much buggy. It's just that the way they look sort of evil to me. And when the first time I saw them, I thought, wow, is she trying to do that? Or is that natural? I mean, but if her, woo, why can't we find a cure for cancer? We could, I think, Harley. Charles Manson eyes. There you go, Carol. Thank you. Candace said she would run if she felt her country needed her. And again, Barbara, I still would want to see Candace start out locally. It's the Kuru. Levine was great last night with Candace. Oh, I didn't see that, Tom. I'll call the dim stare. Yeah, that's the dim stare, Dawn said. Oh, my God. I bet there is a cure, too much money in research and treatment. Yep. Yeah, you mean if they seriously wanted to do it, it would put the American Cancer Society and a whole bunch of other people out of business. Money is in the treatment of disease, not the cure. Yep. That's right, Ibis. Everybody's making money off of it. The Billy Graham family had more respect for POTUS more than the McCain's. Today, Gracie's a star. Love her so. Thanks, just that. Darn wish I had seen Levin last night. Yep. Eyes window to the soul. Yes, Wayne, that's true. Yep, cancer is big business. That's right. That is right. And I'm sure they could cure AIDS if they wanted to, and a whole bunch of other things if they really wanted to. I volunteer for Relay for Life. The ACS is a mess. Wow. It's, Carol, it's just sad to hear all that. I mean, I know it's true, but it's just sad. Okay, so it's in other news. Looks like another bot. French President Macron announced a new push for European defense project. He says the continent's security shouldn't rely on the U.S. Well, if Obama can play golf when Americans are beheaded, there you go, Barbara. It's very sad, Harley said. That's right. Obama was out during Benghazi just yucking it up. ACS has tons of money given to them. Yep. Pray for Cindy with her cancer, please. Yep. Absolutely, Carmen. Carmen's sister, pray for her. She's going through cancer treatments right now. And let's also, as we're thinking about it, let's pray for Brandon, who this is his first day on the job. So I hope Brandon's doing well. Hey, Lisa. Has the president announced it yet? No, the president has announced the when he's going to speak on NAFTA. If Obama could go to fundraisers when our embassy's attacked, there you go. What difference does it make? Yeah, that was the attitude then. Nobody seemed to care, but now all of a sudden, it's like, oh, woo. So there's also some of these things, again, they're not being announced in the news, but I want you to know them because they're extremely important with what's going on in the world, what's going on with end times and everything else. There's a new Iran, Russia, Turkey summit on Syria, which will occur on September the 7th in Iran. So that's a big deal. Sorry, my keys are sticking, but you understood me. I know, cool. I'm telling you. True, it makes no difference except there's now some big moral compass. It's right. Exactly, Barbara. It's like I said, there's nothing that the president could do or say that would be okay with the people on the left. So why do we keep pretending that it would be, or why does anybody keep hoping he'll say this or this? No matter what he said, it would be the wrong thing. We are, believe it or not, at the halfway point. If everybody would please retweet this, we'd really appreciate it. I don't give money for cancer research, even though Robin said she had it. The CEOs are making billions. They sure are. They're making tons of money. Tons, tons, tons. Now, also, it was announced that Iran has blocked the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. That's not going to be good. I don't know what we're going to do about it in America, what the president will decide, but it certainly it's going to be open one way or the other. So buckle up is all I can say. So while everybody's wondering, what President Trump is going to be doing on McCain's funeral and what if the flag's at half-staff or whatever, there's bigger fish, not to be disrespectful to anything else, but there's bigger fish to fry and things going on. Iran is like the left. They hate us if we give money or not. Yep, some people are telling me they think Trump is not going to run in 2020. I don't know, Harley. He said he would. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I only give to the Mary Kay research. We do have a lot of cures. Our own research, Barbara said, that's going to deeply affect oil prices globally. It sure will. And that's why it's not going to be, they're not going to allow that to sit there very long. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But Iran is just trying to push everybody's buttons. They're wearing down his family life, Harley said. Yeah. I've heard rumors, and this is just a rumor, but I heard a man speaking this over the weekend that said the rumor is that Donald Trump Jr. Is going to be indicted for lying to the FBI. Now, again, total rumor, but I want you to know that, but still know that it's a rumor at this point. If you know, though, that's kind of Mueller's MO. He goes after everybody. Oh, Roger Stone said that too? Okay. I heard that too. Well, that's wishful thinking that Trump will not run. It's a trick to get us to give up, Barbara said. Yep, wouldn't doubt it, Tom said. Yeah, nothing would surprise me because that's Mueller's MO. Well, that's the plan. Wear him down. Yep. And wear the country down, too. No, he will not. He left the damn meeting, Barbara said. Danny, I heard that last week. Yes, the reporters were stationed at Stone's house all weekend. Isn't that great? Don't you just love that? Some of my cousins despise POTUS. I told them not everything the media puts out you must believe. See, that's the problem, Josette. We are pressing in, though, Cool said. Pressing on, though, Cool said. Yeah, that's the problem, Josette. They listen to the mainstream media who tells lies, and that's what most people listen to, and that's why they do believe everything, because they believe they're not stalking for news, SFN channel, that they're being told the truth, and they're not. They're simply not being told the truth. Stone was a nobody really, and he knows a madam. Yeah, Barbara, I mean, I don't know that Stone's a great person, or that I would believe him. I hope Trump fires Mueller. Yeah, I don't know about that, Danielle. Don't know if he'll do that. That's something that Rod Rosenstein or, Jeffy ought to do. What do you think about New York prosecutors talking to... I don't understand. Talking to something, come on, who tells brother. I don't understand that. Some people believe that fake news stuff. Yeah, a lot of people do. New York talking to Cuomo about what? There's a lot going on with Cuomo right now. Trump has a 90% approval rating with Republicans. Yep. I heard that too, Collie. I think Republicans especially. They see what's happening. Even NFL legend Jim Brown came out and said, you know what? There are always reporters in the news always pointing fingers at President Trump, and he's doing wonderful stuff. And he goes, I'm on the side of Donald Trump. So Jim Brown. Stone said, without offering evidence, as he often does, he's a provocateur. Yeah, I believe that, Ibris. And Cuomo telling reporter brother. Tom, I'm missing the connection there. Let me ask everyone, could there be a civil war if they impeach Trump? That's what Harley's asking. She might know a call girl who knew a Russian. Barbara said. Does anybody want to answer Harley's question? Do you think there'd be a civil war if they impeach Trump? I think the possibility is extremely high. Nikolai says possibly. Everybody else is saying yes. Stock market would certainly fall drastically. The stock market would crash, Lori, initially at least. Our local media gets info from either CNN or BBC. While Tiger Woods didn't take the media bait, good for him. Josette said, could happen. Robin said, not a civil war, but a hunt on the elite, yes. The governor is supposedly leaking info to his brother at CNN. Oh, thank you, Harley. Now I understand. Well, does that surprise anybody that Cuomo is probably leaking information to his brother at CNN? No. That's what the Democrats do. It's okay for them to do it. It's just not okay for you to do it. They will never impeach Trump, Barbara said. I think basically that you got to ensure, Republicans, that the House and the Senate stay red. Because I do believe that the Democrats would use everything possible to try to impeach him. There's no grounds for it, but that doesn't matter. And you're talking about a lawless country, in a lot of respects under the Democrats. Stranahan has been dropping Ukraine whistleblower info saying dossier parts were made up by Ukraine. Jerry said, I agree, they will try if we lose. Yep. And again, it won't matter. They won't be basing it on law. That's why security clearances need to be taken unless they need them. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. There should be a brand new policy that unless you are a former president and vice president, let's say, then your security clearance should be taken from you the day that you leave office. Now, will the Russians be on the side of the Republicans during the Civil War? Brewerman, the Russians aren't on our side anyway. Hell, they're trying to impeach him now. That's right, Tom. The Dems want the House to keep all these investigations going on Trump. Yes, they do. Never understood why they still have them. Harley, they shouldn't, in my opinion. They say they have them for some positions. For example, let's say, nuclear war or whatever broke out in America, and you needed to know what other people did during that time, or you needed information from the experts. You would go to people that in the past that were considered experts and ask them questions. If they didn't have a secret clearance, you couldn't. Even former presidents, why does Clinton or anyone need them? Yep, never understood. It's only for money they can say they have them. Well, it helps, Harley. It helps in getting board positions, prestige, money when you're writing a book and all that. But there are some instances where it could possibly be needed. And but I think those instances are very few and far between. They're skipping courts and have them impeached already with mainstream media. Exactly, Tom. President is going to speak, but it's taped. They said they can get it. That happens until then. No, Dee said. But they couldn't get it fast enough, Dee. That's the argument. Doesn't it take a 2/3 vote in the Senate to impeach? Yes, it does. But Hidden Gems, if the Senate is overtaken, and they get the majority of the Senate, it's a possibility. That's why Bill Clinton, he was indicted by the House, but not by the Senate. The Russians might not be on any side, but I know plenty of rednecks that won't need anyone. It's true, Don. Stranahan said someone in U.S. government has the info, whistleblower, it disproves Russia witch hunt. I thought, Jerry, that Lee was going to go over and give all this information to the right people, like Senator Grassley. Did he do that? I'm sorry, but mainstream media needs to be controlled, Tom said. Hey, Len. Thank you for inviting. I didn't see you here a minute ago, Lynn. Exactly, as we lose midterms, we could be in trouble. What's your take on why they hate him so much? D, because he's a nationalist and the globalists want an open border and they want to take over and control everything. But they want a one world order. That's written in the Bible, not my words, not my conspiracy theory, and that's the way to do it. Lee doesn't trust FBI, Mueller, Sessions, etc. Yeah. So if follow the money, trail greed. If Hillary Clinton had won, we wouldn't even be talking about open borders or a wall. I think the Dems are angry and more determined. Good possibility they'll take the House and Senate, Lori said. Well, maybe cheating, they might try to get it that way, but I don't know if they'll get it otherwise. But, I mean, if you look at the economy and everything else, it would be hard to see why anybody would want to go against that. I read the first letter to Timothy. It was incredible, Susan. Great, Harley. Lee doesn't trust... Oh, another bot? Yeah, First Timothy and Second Timothy, my gosh. That should be... I wish I could remember everything in there. And you know, that would be... that. It's so appropriate and so vital for today. Hey, Teresa. Now, here's something that came out. If Hillary won, we would already be flooded with illegals. And we're already flooded with illegals, Tom, but we would have... There would be nothing about anybody talking about vetting them or anything else. They didn't vet any of those refugees coming in under her or under Obama. And the State Department said, we can't vet everybody. Good, Carmen, I'm glad that you did. They said, they said back then, we can't vet these people. We're not vetting them properly. And guess what? That was taken away from, like, every article I ever saw. Shouldn't Hillary be in jail? Well, yeah. Cosmic. Should be. Foreign minister coming to Pakistan, what do you think about it? I don't really think about what's going on in Pakistan, to be honest with you, unless it involves the United States. Here's something that I wanted to talk to you about that came out over the weekend that might explain a lot. Yeah, well, if we cannot vet, then close the border tight. Exactly, Barbara. Omarosa. This is something that you should know about Omarosa because I really think this is starting to make everything pretty darn clear. The Miami Herald said the following. Hey, Daniel, as far as voting for tomorrow in the primaries, my vote goes to Kelly Ward. Listen to the replays. A lot of people are telling me that McSally is very much a rhino, not a very good candidate, and also that Kelly Ward, that thing about her husband, the thing about her taking Obama stimulus money for her practice is a lie, and it was her husband who gave her that money. So I'm just saying, go do some research and find it out. And but my vote would be for Kelly Ward if I were in Arizona. What everybody else does, you do whatever you want to do. The Russians might not be... Oh, that was saying the thing again. Yes, Kelly Ward is a good MAGA candidate. Yeah, she's very much pro-veteran, pro-homeless veteran. Ward was a traitor to Arizona. See, I'm getting the same thing, Lynn, about McSally. So I'm getting a lot worse information on McSally than I have on Ward. I don't know what Ward, how she did, what she did, how she betrayed Arizona. If you can tell us, please do. Because I haven't heard that. But, you know, again, I'm not in Arizona, but you guys are the ones that have to vote. Her 15 minutes of fame has come and gone. Such a fool she is. Are you talking about Hillary, Josette? Oh, Omarosa. Okay, yeah. Let me get back to that. McCain promised a lot to his voters and failed them, Barbara said. Let's all go to Arizona and vote for her. Can't beat them, join them. Tom said. Ward is endorsed by a lot of people. Yeah. I have not seen anything negative about her. Will they call a special election for McCain's Senate seat? No, they won't. Hidden gems. That will be appointed by the governor. That person will be appointed by the governor, and then in 2 years there will be a special election. So, Miami Herald is saying this, that Omarosa and her husband are being sued by the Jacksonville Golf and Country Club Property Owners Association, demanding that she fix her house. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,048 square foot home with exterior in disrepair, according to the suit. The suit claims that there is mold on the roof, filthy pool that attracts mosquitoes and needs complete chemical treatment, plus dead tree resting on the fence. Also, supposedly they owe $11,063 in back fees and charges. So if this is true, what the Miami Herald is saying, that would explain a lot to me why she turned on Donald Trump, why she wrote this book, why she's obviously, in my mind, getting paid by somebody to flip and lie, it seems. But this makes a lot of sense. Do you think McCain's wife might get along with Trump at all? No, Harley, I don't. Yeah, she's desperate, Carmen. Was Michelle Obama, cosmic? I don't know, and you're saying crazy stuff. Well, she is too busy being a liar, thief, and tramp, Barbara said. Yes, I guess that Cher wrote that song just for her, I guess, Barbara. But doesn't that explain a lot? Doesn't it explain a lot why, she would be friends with Donald Trump for about 13 years? Do you like... Oh, do you like... Yeah. Yes. Boilovich. How do you say his name? I've forgotten his name. Now, I saw that and I can't... I think McCain's daughter's in the middle of the road. Probably Harley, for all Democrats. Yeah, and supposedly, I know, I forget. There was like a wink and a nod and a handshake that Governor Ducey would appoint Cindy McCain once John McCain died. Now, there of course cannot be any official Boilovich or something like that. There can't be any official agreement like that, because that'd be like almost like buying a seat. You love your dad in disgrace. McCain just had a personal vendetta against POTUS, said he let his people down because of it. Here's what I think about McCain. McCain was a Democrat. And I also think that McCain thought that he could do more good for the Democrats if he were a Republican and was one of the voices that voted against the Republicans. Don't agree with that system. They should have a special election for the people. Yep, they're not going to, Harley, for 2 years. Because McCain was in office until 2022. I heard President Trump paid for Omarosa's wedding. I could have. While if true, she can't even put her home in order and want to talk about others whose lives are. Yeah, maybe his brain tumor messed his head. But I think that, for example, he knew Obama back when they were both senators and Obama was new. And they were best buds. And they did a lot of work together. And as you know, McCain and other people, other rhinos, carried the water for Obama for 8 years. So he should have been, in my opinion, just declared Democrat. McCain was on Democratic pay scale with lobbyists. Tom said McCain did Arizona wrong. They weren't represented. But in the past, Omarosa worked for both the Clintons and Obamas. Why would Donald Trump put her in his White House? Well, you have to ask yourself this, Patty. I think it was Patty. Why is his daughter in the White House? Why is his son-in-law in the White House? They're both Democrats. I think a lot of times he looks at people and trusts them maybe a little bit too much and puts them in these positions because he thinks that they can do a good job. And he doesn't look and say, oh, well, you're Democrat, you can't do it. Now, me personally, I think that's what he should do. But that's just me. And he's in the White House. He's the president. I'm not. Do I like the fact that his daughter and son-in-law are there? No. Do I like that he put other Democrats in there? No, I don't. To uninvite sitting president to a funeral says a lot about McCain. Yep, because the Democrats were not always insane. That's true, Barbara. The Kennedy Democrats weren't, and neither were the Reagan Democrats. Thank you. I'm so glad you recognize him as a Democrat. Dawn said that was my thoughts exactly. Yep. He was absolutely. I mean, I don't know who he was trying to kid. There's another bot. So I also heard that the Jacksonville shooter's father's upscale townhome was not raided, but the FBI was there yesterday looking at things. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. That was a very long time ago. He gets it wrong when judging people every now and then. He does, Tom. And I've noticed, Tom, with him, his weaknesses are children and women. Some women and children. It's like his kryptonite. It really is. Everybody has a weakness. I haven't heard Sarah Palin on John McCain's passing. Just that she said that he had a lot of people that kind of like, some words like kind of used him or didn't do him right, didn't do him well. It is crazy for the president not to be invited. We've come a long way down with our morals. Yeah, I don't think that Trump would have gone anyway. But I mean, you're talking about some, not you guys, but some people are talking about Trump dissing McCain. Looks like McCain dissed Trump. So it's a shame, that people hate each other so much, I guess. But whatever. Yeah, Josette, I think Palin was just saying the people that surrounded John McCain didn't always give him the best advice. Something on that order. It's a very sad state of affairs. Oh, and Carmen, it's going to get worse. I hate to say that, but it's going to get worse. Now, California churches. And before I forget it, I wrote an article at SusanKnowles.com. If you have a chance to go see it, it's about a dress code situation in California, and it has far more to do with dress code than that. That's the problem. There's way too much hate in our country. A great nation. Harley said, "Yep. Well, it's a free country. Can you not go to a funeral at church if you want?" Barbara, that would be totally disrespectful. I think if he went, if the family doesn't want you there, John McCain doesn't want you there, don't go. But the article really, it is about dress code, but it's the ramifications of that are far exceed the dress code. Is it about dressing males like females? No, Chezzy, it's not. McCain never got over his losing the presidency. He was jealous that Donald Trump won. Yeah, I believe that, Patty Sue. It's about schools, yes, Harley, but it's got so much more to do. It's not about dress code. You'll find out by reading the article. This is really important for you, why you should read the article at SusanKnowles.com. You'll find out whose idea this is. You will find out this just is not just in California. They're already doing this in Illinois and in Oregon. It's headed your way. Yeah, no dress code, Barbara. Yeah. But read who's behind it all, who's responsible for it all. And it's going to come your way. It's coming. Here's something else about California churches. Again, church, it's coming your way. Christians are concerned across the nation over a proposed California law that would outlaw speech dealing with certain issues, including homosexuality and gender identity. Dress code like big girls in Walmart. Yeah, this can't be good. Yeah, it's not good. Even licensed counselors. So what this means, it's Assembly Bill 2943 by Evan Lowe, who of course is a Democrat. That's who runs California. They're going to use existing consumer law statute in California to classify anything concerning gay conversion therapy as a fraudulent practice. I am about ready for public schools to be shut down, Barbara said. We need to get our liberal teachers out. Tom, good luck with that. It's a good article. We have uniforms. I guess I should be thankful for it, Dawn said. Yeah. Dawn said about McCain, I understand that he was a war hero and gave a lot of service for country, but geez, I think they are on overload as far as honoring him. Yes, and they will continue to bring him up and honor him. Already Schumer wants to name an office building after him in D.C. So, yeah. The Assembly already passed that bill this past week. It's going to go for another vote, and then it will go to the Jerry Brown's desk for signing. Here's what another California Democrat said, and again, church, if you think this is only in California and will stay in California, I have to say you're fooling yourself. Susan, did you hear about the asteroid just missing us on the 29th? No, Harley, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see, gosh. Well, will they call it the Songbird? Chezzy said, nope. The McCain building, whatever. We can control a lot with government money going to college. Cut it. Yep, Tom, that's true. So this other Democrat said about this thing for the California churches, he said that the faith community, like anyone else, needs to evolve with the times, and that its science is clear. The claim that the First Amendment can be used as a defense for promoting fraudulent conduct is a fallacious argument. So what does this mean? This means that if you are a therapist and somebody comes to you and says, can you help me with conversion therapy? I'm gay, but I don't want to be living the gay lifestyle or the gay, life or whatever the case may be. The answer is no, you will not be able to do it unless you want to go to jail. And for all of the pastors in church who want to preach, oh no, the end of the world again. That's right, Wayne. If all the pastors who want to preach about homosexuality not being part of biblical principles and living the lifestyle, at least of that, then you will be in trouble as well. Science, lol, that's not a problem. Yep. Oh no, that impacts me, Chesney said. And so, yeah, you can't even be talking to anybody about conversion therapy. Is that school about the schools allowing the students to dress as they please, meaning boys can wear girls' clothes? Yeah, absolutely, Josette. They're making a fortune from Trump derangement syndrome. Yes. So, again, even as a pastor, you're not even probably going to be able to talk about that in church as being against biblical principles, the act of it as homosexuality. Well, I don't care. I'll work for a church, Chezzy, that won't protect you, because the church is not going to be able to talk about it as well. Everybody is making money from Trump. That's right. If you go to Snoops and put in Carol McCain, his first wife, it's interesting reading. But I'm in Texas. But, Chezzy, this is happening right now in California. And like I said, what happens in California moves across the country. So it's something that, that people that are seeing right now. It should be stopped in California. It probably won't be. But just realize that these Democrats, they're going to sweep across the nation. And as we get further and further into the end times and things deteriorate further and further, you're going to see lawlessness and these things happening. Snopes has been proven to be incorrect in some things. Yes, that's right, Harley. They are. In Washington, on paperwork, it says under gender, male, female, and other. Yeah. Debbie said Trump just exerted freedom of speech for, yeah. They will. What did I read that about? Over the weekend, the executive order for being able to fire federal workers quickly. That has been, the court said, nope, sorry, you can't do that. And they kind of took that away from Trump. Let me see if I can find this. Nope, I can't find it. But anyway, it was an executive order that he wrote. The world is full-blown cray-cray. My heart is broken already. To imagine it gets worse freaks me out. Hold on, Carmen. That's why also people need to... breaking Trump to end NAFTA, Jerry said. Is that the deal between America and Mexico? Think about just a few years ago, pastors couldn't say anything wrong about same-sex marriage. Now it's the gay baloney. We need Trump to stay in just to help us block that, Dawn said. Hillary Clinton said the same thing, that we Christians have to evolve with the times. How dumb. Well, how evil. I support the gay community, but legislation like this does nothing but encourage division. Yep. That Ninth Court Circuit is stripping all president's power. Absolutely. Rapture come now, Carmen said. Yep. Good as a Texan. I hate NAFTA, Barbara said. Yeah, I mean, again, what it's doing effectively is taking the power away from the churches, if you want to look at it. So, again, if a parishioner came to you and said, I'm gay and I don't want to be gay, and that's a choice too. If they want to make that choice, they don't want to be gay, they should have somebody that they can talk to about it. But they're saying, no, we're not going to give you that choice. You're not going to be allowed to talk about it. And, there's going to be, I'm sure, criminal penalties that go along with it. Let's see. Couple other things we have, just like, we don't even have 30 seconds really to go. There are ways to work around that. Yeah, Chessie, but if somebody came to me as a therapist and wanted to talk about conversion therapy, I wouldn't even have that conversation with them. And I hate to say that, but it's too easy for somebody to say that you talked to them about it. Thank God that the dim superstars are Crooked Hillary, Crazy Maxine, and Lost Nancy Pelosi Jr. said. All right, everybody, have a great day. Please, if you will, retweet this, and I will see you back here again tomorrow. God bless you. Take care. All right, everybody on YouTube, if you will, please share this. I'll see you again tomorrow. God bless. Take care.